This year I hiked the Alta Via 1 with my family, and all I heard from my kids was, "Mom, you're too slow." So I wanted to share 8 things that I wish I would have known about the Alta Via 1 hut-to-hut hiking experience, so you can make a decision if it's right for you. The first thing is embrace the struggle. It's hard. A lot of times you're going up and down like 1,000 feet, 1,500 feet a day. The trail is rocky, not like this beautiful soft driven path I'm on right now, but it is a hard path. And when you bring in your friends or family, kids, whatever, and they're not used to it, be prepared to do some bribery. Sasha, what happened on this incredible, like, double black diamond, Legacy?
Sage was yelling at me because I was going too fast.
Yeah, she was. She was doing cardio, super fast. Yeah, I was mad at her. Why? Because she's beating you?
Yeah, she wouldn't let me.
Oh. But now we're at the top, guys, and it's clearing up. The sense of accomplishment that you get at the end of the night makes up for all the struggle. But don't think it's a flat walk in the park. Here's my backpack for the Alta Via 1. Oh, I'm just kidding. But honestly, embrace the minimalist side. When you're hiking hut to hut, the huts do provide the bedding and pillows. They have a 3-course dinner every night. They have coffee, they have wine, they have beer, they have cocktails. Some are better than others, but you don't need to carry a heavy backpack. And that will make your life so much easier. As much as I hate planning and I hate spreadsheets, I quite literally get itchy thinking about Excel. This is a route and a experience that is extremely popular. So you'll need to book 6 to 9 months in advance. And oftentimes you might just hire someone to do it for you because it's extremely tedious. The thing is, you can't just go on one website and decide how far you want to walk each day and which refugio you want to stay in. It's kind of a manual thing where you're piecing together different accommodations each night and ensuring that you're the appropriate distance for what you can handle. This isn't something like the Communal de Santiago where it's relatively flat and there's a ton of accommodations. Here, the accommodations are refugio, which are mountain huts, and they're often at the top of a mountain on a cliff. They have only so many beds, and you have to reserve them ahead of time. Sometimes if you're a solo hiker, you can get away with doing it last minute, but those days are sadly coming to an end. And speaking of refugios, the communal living is a benefit, not a drawback. The first time my daughter and I, Sage, did this, we actually booked private rooms the whole time. And that was nice. And don't get me wrong, a private room here or there is great. But if you bring a pair of earplugs, you'll be just fine in the dormitories. And you'll save money and potentially meet a new friend that you can stay in contact for a long time. When I was hiking the Road of Vicentina, staying in the dorms, I actually made a friend, and she ended up coming and seeing me in Germany from America. So this communal living and the experience you get when you start meeting other people, finding common ground. Even we found someone who was friends in high school with one of the people in our group, which is completely wild because there's only about 30 people in the refugio at night. So don't be afraid, don't be intimidated by the mountain hut's communal nature, and realize that every night you'll sit down around 7 and eat a 3-course dinner together, and then breakfast is set together. But one thing, after 10, you gotta be quiet. We might have played games a little loud one time, and the hut owners will shut you down because it's time for sleep and everyone needs to get off in the morning. I'm gonna be real with you guys. I am deathly afraid of heights. Sometimes when I'm walking on the trails, I might take my baseball hat and kind of put the visor to the side and kind of act like a horse with blinders. One of the best things about the Alta Via 1 is that it's not a technical trail. You don't have to do any exposed sections. You don't have to have a harness and do a Via Ferrata or the Klettersteig in German. You can completely avoid those sections, and it's a great beginner trail where you can start to kind of edge up to the place where you're a little bit afraid, up to your limits, but you don't ever have to go into a place where you feel like you're a mountaineer. This is the mountains though, and they are rugged. So you should always mitigate your danger. So the main danger in the Dolomites, well, one is blisters. You should definitely take care of your feet, have good shoes, be prepared, bring along some Compeeds or other ways to help your feet, because broken skin on your feet makes the whole experience miserable. But the only real mortal danger that is at a substantial risk is lightning. So generally speaking, most people start the trek early in the morning. The refugee owners get you up and at 'em super early. There's no dilly-dallying over coffee. And you get going usually right by like 7:30 or 8. Sometimes a little later. But the storms roll in around 2 or 3 p.m. typically, and then they're gone. So what most people do to mitigate their risk is actually just make it to the next refugio, either for lunch or they're in for the night. Bad weather will or can and will happen in the Dolomites. The chances of you having 5 or 6 days of continuous rain are fairly low, but it does happen. So you need to make sure that one, you have some kind of GPS enabled app on your phone. That way, if you get no visibility, you can actually follow the blue dot on your phone to your next refugio. Also, you'll make sure to have really good weather apps so you can track the radar and make sure that you're not going to be coming into a crazy storm. The refugio owners typically will let you know if there's a really bad storm coming, and will often either let you stay an extra night like we did last August, or help you get down into the valley and take a taxi to a valley location. Certainly not every family, but most families should be able to accomplish this trek together, at least a section of it. And it's completely easy to break up the Alta Via one, which is typically 10 days. You could break it into a 2-day section or a 5-day section or a 4-day section. You can, really experience the trip of a lifetime, and especially with your kids. It's amazing how easy it is to drop the to-do list, get off devices, and just spend time together with just one purpose, just walking and eating together. If you want to book your own, I made a planning spreadsheet. I do have links to places where you can stay, refugios. You are going to have to email, call, talk, go back and forth with them. Will help you determine what the prices are, where you should stay, the distances, and walking time each day. So I hope now you can see that hiking the Alta Via 1 hut to hut isn't about being exhausted and rigorous and rugged, but rather it's about inspiring awe and wonder. And it is a family-friendly trip for the right family. In order to help you plan, I've created another video here going over 4 different blogs that are helpful in the planning and inspiration phase.